All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I think I heard my own echo there. All right, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's a rainy Monday evening in Metro Manila, and I hope everyone's safe and sound and warm and cozy and comfortable, whatever it is. I hope everyone's well. It's a Monday. It's my favorite day of the week, and it's my favorite because I can get to like recharge and renew myself every single Monday. So, welcome to our Motivation Monday. And before that, I'd like to greet everyone in the audience, most especially to Hi, Renally. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think it's oh, well, it's now getting lighter. How's your vacation? I'm so envious. It's been raining here nonstop. So I think the rain stopped a bit and then later on I'm not so sure about it. So anyway, once again, welcome back to my channel. And I've been out for several nights because, as you know, I have something. I'm going through something personal, but now I'm back, and I'm back for our Motivation Monday. And our topic for tonight is the power of delayed gratification. But before I proceed to our conversation tonight, I'd like to also greet the ones who are watching on replay. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, you can definitely join the conversation, even though I'm already offline. You can definitely join the conversation. Share you can also share the video just in case you wanna watch it again, or maybe somebody else would probably you would probably want to help out somebody else. Please share the video. Anyway, this is for you, and all the episodes that we're doing are definitely for all our audience out there who want to hear something motivational or something that they didn't know before, or maybe something that would inspire them um, when they are having, a gloomy day, just like now. It's raining really hard, but gloomy as in sad. So I hope the podcast episodes help you out as much as it does help me out as well. It's been really therapeutic for me to be doing this. Sometimes it's stressful because I'm thinking of topics to talk about, but also it's therapeutic. But don't worry, I don't. I'm not GGSS. I don't really watch my replays as well. But just in case I want to, motivate myself, I also come and visit the channel every now and then. So yes, let's talk about the topic for tonight: the power of delayed gratification. I'm Irene. I'm a real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm also a motivational speaker and a writer, and I do a lot of things in between. But for marketing reasons, let's stick to that tonight. All right. Let me share my screen. There you go. Okay, so our topic is all about delayed gratification. So, to all of you out there who are watching right now, please say your highs and hellos. You can join the conversation. You can chime in. You can say your piece. You can share your experience. No judgment zone. We welcome all of your comments or experiences that you would like to share with us. All right. Let's before I start with before I proceed with the conversation, let me thank Lavender All PH for the partnership with my channel. We have recently opened a shop which is selling the bracelets, the bracelets that I usually wear, and the ones that you usually see that I'm wearing. So that's you can check the shop. That's from the Tinalak Dream Collection. So to know more about that, visit my channel. You can check out the shop. And also, I'd like to thank our constant sponsor, Kelsey Baby Wear. And even though it's Kelsey Baby Wear, it's not only for babies. They're also for moms. So if you want to like shop for your twinning outfits, you can definitely go and visit Kelsey Baby Wear. That's our constant sponsor. Um, I bought my bows from Kelsey Baby Wear. Yes, I buy because collaborations are not just freebies. I also support their businesses by purchasing from our sponsors. And hindi puro libre lang, 'di ba? We support each other's businesses, and because we support each other's businesses, we definitely buy then the products that they are selling. All right. And of course, say Lavender LPH, they're selling oils. So recently I've been having some issues with sleeping again. Because yeah, I've been through a very stressful week last week, so I needed some help. So oils, yes. So if you wanna find out more about how to sleep without taking medicines, visit Lavender LPH. So again, tonight our topic is all about the power of delayed gratification. And this is our Motivation Monday episode. Welcome and join the conversation. All right, so let's start with as you know, I always start by defining the word that we are going to use or the main topic for tonight. So let's define gratification. Most people don't know this or probably are not aware that they're using this or they're doing this for themselves. But gratification, based on Merriam-Webster's definition, it's a reward or a recompense. Okay, so that's the meaning of gratification. So our topic for tonight is the power of delayed gratification. So that means, in simpler terms, the power of delayed reward. Okay. And then there's what we call as the instant gratification. So what is an instant gratification? It's the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment without delay or deferment. So ito yung mga nagmamadali ka. Nagmamadali kang masatisfy. Yun, parang that didn't come out, right? But yeah. So the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment without delay or deferment. So you cannot wait any longer. You just want to have it, right? You just want to have that fulfillment without waiting any longer. So that's what I mean by instant gratification. And later on, I will be sharing some examples of instant gratification. All right. So why do people fall into instant gratification? Bakit nagmamadali tayong mag-gratify yung mga sarili natin? Well, first and foremost, because we are impatient. Well, generally, people don't like waiting. I don't like waiting. So that's why I'm talking about this topic for tonight because I can totally relate to this topic. So, instant gratification. Why do people want instant gratification? Because most people are just so impatient. They don't want to wait. Okay. I'm saying this, personally, I don't like waiting. I don't like queuing. Like I do a lot of memberships so that I wouldn't have to queue because I don't like waiting. So impatience is I know I cannot say that it's valid or invalid because it's impatience. Like it can be a negative characteristic. It can also be a positive characteristic. But impatience is what drives people to gratify themselves in an instant. Okay, they cannot wait. Next is uncertainty. And what do we mean by uncertainty? Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen next, right? I mean, yeah, we can foresee things somehow, especially when it comes to business. But when it comes to life in general, we really do not know what's going to happen next. So because of that, especially with us with the notion that life is short, diba? Life is so short, or you only live once. We want to automatically get whatever we can put our hands on, 'di ba? Parang lahat gusto mong makuha agad because you never know if you're still gonna live tomorrow, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. So because of that feeling, because of the YOLO attitude or maybe the life is so short attitude, we fall into the trap of instant gratification. Kasi gusto na natin ma-experience yung pleasure. Kasi nga hindi natin alam kung buhay pa tayo tomorrow, parang gano'n. We also have impulse. Okay, kaway-kaway sa mga impulse shoppers dyan. Sino po ba dyan sa audience natin ang impulse buyers? Okay, when I was younger, I was an impulse buyer. Like, whatever I see na nagustuhan ko, I automatically buy it. But when you're growing older, um, your perspective kind of changes. So, hindi na ako masyadong guilty sa impulse buying. But impulse is definitely one of the reasons why people fall into the trap of instant gratification. Impulse is out of emotion. So, When you are using emotion, usually you don't really have logic. Okay? So, ang nangyayari, so what happens next is, well, you fall into the trap. Good luck. So, yun yung nangyayari. Next is, well, speaking of impulse and speaking of emotions, obviously, we also have emotions. And when we are always governed by our emotions, we actually also fall into the trap of instant gratification. Alam nyo, people are always, people are always emotion driven. People buy because of fear, people buy because of love, people buy because of need. We are emotional people, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying that we have emotions. We're humans. We have that. We have logic, we have emotions. However, sometimes our emotions drive us nuts. Sometimes our emotions drive us to do the things that we shouldn't be doing. Well, just because we feel like we need to do it or we want to do it without really considering the consequences. So, ang nangyayari, you want to gratify ourselves. So, emotions. And I think tomorrow the topic is emotion versus logic. I think. Hindi ko sure. Okay, sa dami-dami ng topics talaga, nahihilo na ako. Pero yes, so emotions is another thing. Thank you, Ren. Hello, Sir Joseph. Aba, medyo na-late ka ba ngayon or late ka lang nag-post? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, next is, eto na, syempre, obviously, if you want instant gratification, you lack self-discipline. Because if you have self-discipline, you wouldn't have instant gratification. You know that there's a time for everything. But because you don't have self-discipline or you lack self-discipline, gusto mo lahat makuha mo agad-agad, 'di ba? Nagmamadali ka, parang 'di ba 'pag nag-exercise ka pa lang ng nag-exercise ka lang ng one day, feeling mo payat ka na. Alam mo 'yun, yung gano'ng feeling. Well, that's because we want to gratify ourselves immediately and yet we don't have the self-discipline. Hindi ka lang nag-exercise ka one day, the next day, kumain ka na ng madami, nag-indulge ka na sa carbs. So what's the point, right? So yes, lack of self-discipline drives people towards instant gratification. Another thing is short-sightedness. Somehow this is related to the previous indicator indicator that I mentioned. Indicator talaga. Napaka-academician. Okay. So short-sightedness kasi nga 'di ba we have the notion that you only live once or life is short. But what if you live for the next 100 years and you've already decided to gratify yourself as early as now? So, what are you gonna do next, 'di ba? Kaya ka super nag-shopping kasi feeling mo mamamatay ka na. Eh, paano kung mabuhay ka ng mas mahaba? What if, 'di ba? So, short-sightedness also drives people towards instant gratification because you don't really realize that there's tomorrow. Um, I understand that there are uncertainties in life, but what if those uncertainties also is parang look at the other side. Like, look at the other side of the uncertainty. What if mas mabuhay ka ng 200 years, di ba? So, short-sightedness. We shouldn't be short-sighted. We should know what we can do today and what we should be doing today so that we can help our future goals or our future lifestyles. Okay, another thing is, 'di ba, instant gratification is a reward. So when we want instant gratification, it's because we want to have a feeling of achievement. And alam naman ninyo, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, ano ba to, yung achievement or yung esteem is actually on the fourth, 'di ba? Tama ba? Fourth or third in the pyramid. So every person needs to feel that they have achieved something because they want to feel, they want to boost their self-esteem. However, instant gratification is not the way towards real achievement because real achievement you have to wait. Diba? Kailangan mong mag-antay and there's a timeline for it. So having the feeling of achievement when we are instantly gratifying ourselves is actually a fake feeling of achievement. Kasi nga, parang hindi mo siya deserve eh. Kasi parang minadali mo, parang ganon. So, if you feel that you wanna gratify yourself immediately, yung feeling ng achievement na yun, it's not real. Okay? So parang ano, for example, you're running, right? Tapos nag-shortcut ka. You're running like 10 kilometer run. And instead of taking the track that was required, you actually took a shortcut. So yes, nanalo ka, naramdaman mo na mas mabilis ka compared with everybody else, pero nag-shortcut ka. That's the instant gratification there. Okay, the feeling of a fake achievement, right? So, what are the examples of gratification? Ano nga ba yung mga examples? Ay, sa mga nanonood, kaway-kaway pag nakarelate kayo. The first example of gratification, ouch! Relate na relate ako dito. Kaya grabe yung ano nito sa akin. This hit me hard. Alright. So, first example of gratification is food. Feeling ko whenever I've achieved something, I wanna gratify myself by eating. And I would reward myself with food that I like kahit na bawal. Sige lang kasi may nagawa ako eh. May nagawa akong achievement. So gusto kong i-satisfy yung sarili ko, reward ko yung sarili ko with food. Even though there are dietary restrictions, we tend to indulge. Bawal ang carbs, pero dahil nga feeling mo may achievement ka, you indulge in carbs. So, food is an example. It's a very good example of gratification. Next is, isa pa to. Nakaka-relate yung mga ladies in the house. Alright, another example of gratification is shopping. Sweetheart, kasi okay. I lost my connection. Congratulations. Marami yatang umalma sa shopping. Okay, anyway. So shopping. To all the ladies in the house, I definitely know that you can relate to this. When you feel like you've achieved something in the workplace, or even if you're still a student and you feel like you had good grades and stuff, you would shop. And the problem is you shop till you drop. And I'm really guilty about this because in my younger years, nung bata-bata ako, isa talaga ito sa problema ko. The shop till you drop thingy. All right? So that's another example of gratification, shopping. Lalo na yung mga online shopping dyan. Nako, nako. Okay, another thing is exercise. And it's not just any ordinary exercise. Kung religious kayo nag-exercise, that's great. Pero yung iba, ginagawa nilang gratification, yung hindi pag-exercise. Kasi sabi nila, I'm already starving myself to death. Why will I still exercise? I'm already losing weight. Okay, so they will use exercise as an excuse to gratify themselves because they have been starving themselves to death and they've been losing weight, so they will not exercise. Okay, so kabaliktaran. Okay, another example of gratification is work-related achievements. So sometimes we would gratify ourselves in the workplace as well. When we have work-related achievements, we tend to be more lenient kasi nga meron ka namang achievements eh. So parang I can relax because I think I've already proven myself to everybody else in the workplace. So I would definitely I definitely deserve to relax for the next couple of days or maybe weeks because I brought several sales to my company, or maybe you've performed really well in the company. So feeling mo meron ka ng karapatang i-gratify ang sarili mo, and you will not work as expected because, this is how I gratify myself. I gave you a really good performance, so I'm not gonna work for the next couple of days. Mga ganon. So that's also a gratification. Okay. Um, let's move to the next. Another thing is finances. As I've mentioned earlier, shopping, diba? So in relation to that, finances is also an example of gratification. When we feel like we are so tired, we have been working our bums off, we have done our best as a student or as an employee or as a business owner, we tend to splurge. And so that's how we gratify ourselves. I earned this money. I deserve to spend it wherever I want to spend it. So that's what happens next. We splurge. Okay. Another example of gratification is instant relationships. Should I comment? Should I say something else? Should I discuss this further? Okay, gratification. I've mentioned this in a previous podcast episode. I don't remember which podcast episode, pero 'di ba sinabi natin doon, consent pala when I was talking about consent. So for those of you who are not yet ready to give their all to somebody else, please do not engage in relationships. And please do not give it all away if you're not ready. Okay, do not gratify yourself for the moment and then lose yourself in the process or lose yourself eventually. So think about it. Think about it really well, especially for the younger audience. Alamin muna ninyo kung kaya na ninyo yung sarili ninyo before kayo mag-engage into any relationship. And even if you're already old enough to engage in a relationship, think about it first. Are you engaging yourself in a relationship because you want to reward yourself, or you've been single for a long while and I'd like to feel love, blah blah blah. But the thing is, are you ready for a relationship? Okay, ask yourself first before you engage in a relationship so you wouldn't be hurting people or you wouldn't end up hurting yourself. Okay, so I hope I made sense there. Okay, so how do we delay gratification? Because our main topic for tonight is the power of delayed gratification. So we delay. I-delay natin yung gratification. We are not saying that you shouldn't reward yourself. Nope, that's not it. That's that's not about it, no. I'm not saying that you don't deserve to be rewarded. People always function in two things, diba? We reward ourselves or we punish ourselves. Then that's how most people actually function. We function well when we are rewarded, or we function well when we are punished. So meron talagang ganon, diba? But the point here is we are not punishing ourselves. We are just delaying the gratification, or we are just delaying the reward. So how do we do that? Okay, I'll listen well to my explanation. Babasahin ko ulit, papakinggan ko to ulit when I'm feeling like I want to have instant gratification. I definitely have to listen to this podcast episode. Okay, the first one is you fix your eyes on the goal. Um, so earlier this afternoon, I was talking to someone and he was talking about goals and stuff, and I realized that there the part of us the part within us, but the part of us which really which which is excited to be gratified is the feeling that we want to achieve the goal agad-agad, achieving the goal immediately. But the point is, our goals are not immediately achieved. And that's true. Whatever goals you have, if you want to lose weight or whatever, if you want to gain weight, that doesn't that's not an overnight thing. If you want to be rich, if you want to be famous, if you want to be promoted at work, whatever it is, there's always a timeline for it. So fix your eyes on your goal so that you wouldn't fall into the trap of gratifying yourself prematurely. Kasi nga, 'di ba? That's a problem. All right? That's a problem. Gratifying yourself prematurely. That's why um instead of having a really sweet victory, we have already parang gratified ourselves in the along the way, and we don't really appreciate the bigger victory. So fix your eyes on the goal. What is your goal? And it has to be smart. I think I've already talked about this in a previous podcast episode, that our goals, this is not mine. We all know this. The ones who have been studying about management and leadership would probably know about this. And our goal should be smart, right? It should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So fix your eyes on the goal. What is your goal? It has to be smart. So again, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Always fix your eyes on the goal so you don't gratify yourself before your goal materializes. I'm very passionate talking here, no? Hi, Mims. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so again, fix your eyes on the goal. Next is to strengthen your self-confidence. And why am I saying self-confidence? Kasi ganito yon. Okay, sorry. I think we have some foreign audience in who are watching now. Okay, so why do we have to strengthen our self-confidence? Um, because you achieve things based your achievements, or the greatness of your achievements is what do you call it? Is parallel ba? Or is equal to your lack, or to your confidence pala, to your confidence. I think, let me say that again. So the greatness of your achievements is parallel to your level of self-confidence. So wala kang masyadong ma-achieve kung mababa yung self-confidence mo. And that's why we gratify ourselves, because we feel that we are so uncertain about ourselves, we are so uncertain about our environment, that we want to have the satisfaction early on, kahit hindi mo pa naman talaga na-achieve yung gusto mong ma-achieve. So strengthen your self-confidence. If you are confident that you are gonna achieve your goals, no matter what it is, you don't even have to gratify yourself. Because you know what? You don't really have to. Because alam mo sa sarili mo how great you are. You don't even have to prove it to anyone, right? Not even to yourself. Okay, so strengthen your self-confidence. We have a previous podcast episode which talked about building self-confidence. So take a look at that as well. Panoorin niyo yun kasi I think that's one of my, yeah, actually until now, it's my one of my most favorite podcast episodes of all time. Yeah. Okay, another thing is to set realistic timelines. And we've already discussed this in another podcast episode. But let me say this again. Your timelines are based on your decisions. Do not let anyone tell you to rush. Your timeline, your life, your timeline. Okay, no matter how old you are, let me tell you this. Yes, I'm talking to you. Whether you're 20 years old or you're 40 years old, your life, your timeline. You dictate your timeline. Do not ever let anyone pressure you into believing that you don't have much time. Who knows, right? Whoever knows if we have much time or we don't have much time left, right? So set your own timeline, whatever it is, set realistic timelines. That's your life. You build your timeline, you build your goal, you want to achieve whatever goals, doesn't matter. You don't there the people's opinions around you do not matter. What matters is what's your opinion about your own timeline. Do you believe that your timeline is realistic? If it is, then that's up to you. My timeline would probably be different from yours. Your timeline would be different from mine. So what? 'Di ba? Kung maraming nagiging successful ng 12 years old pa lang sila, it doesn't mean that I have to compete with a 12-year-old. Or kung maraming kaedad ko 36-year-old people out there who have already achieved so much, alam nga namang makipagkompetensya ako. It doesn't make sense. I have my own timeline. They have their own timelines, and each person has his or her own journey. So just set your own timeline. Don't be pressured by people. Okay? Kasi once na pressure ka, magbabalik ka na naman doon sa instant gratification. You're gonna fall back to the trap, you're gonna be trapped again into the instant gratification because you want to make yourself, do you want to satisfy yourself na somehow you are at par with the people you are comparing yourself with. So no, do not compare. Set your own timelines, but make sure that they're realistic. Okay. Another one. This one is really important for all of us. Okay. Hello, Mom Evangeline. Thank you so much for the hearts. Okay. Ito, avoid tempting yourself. And how do you do this? Okay, kasi 'di ba, one of the examples of gratification is food. Okay, so I'll just use food as an example. If you think marupok ka, kung marupok ka sa pagkain, huwag ka nang lumapit sa restaurant, 'di ba? Okay. I love matcha, I love milk tea, I love sweets, except cakes. Okay, depende sa cake. Pero yon. So, I really love sweets. So, what do I mean by avoid tempting yourself? For example, I'm so exhausted. I would never, ever fall into the trap of going somewhere which have so many sweets around. Okay, that means there are several places that I would probably avoid. Iiwasan ko yon. Kasi, ako mismo yung maglalagay sa sarili ko sa alanganin, 'di ba? So, avoid tempting yourself. Exercise, 'di ba? Alam mo na mahirap para sa'yo mag-exercise, mag-set ng routine, and then you would be talking to your friends who do not like doing exercises. Eh, di nagsama-sama na kayo, parehong ayaw. So, sino magmo-motivate sa inyo ngayon, 'di ba? So, if you want to delay gratification, do not tempt yourself. Avoid temptation at all costs because you can do it actually. The only reason why we are tempted is because we allow ourselves to be tempted. That's the sad reality. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's really up to you. You have the power to decide. You have the power to decide. All right? Stop making excuses that you do not have a choice because let me tell you this, you have. But you always feel so that you don't so but you always say so that you don't feel guilty. You will say, wala kasi akong choice eh. Pero let me tell you this, meron kang choice. Pero ayaw mo lang, naduduwag ka lang gawin yun. Sakit, no? Sakit pakinggan. So, kaya papakinggan ko ulit to eh. Para matamaan ako pagka kailangan ko matamaan. Ma'am Ernestine B, I love the topic tonight, Ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for tuning in. Nandiyan po pala kayo sa audience. Hello. Okay, so avoid tempting yourself. If you want to exercise, do not hang out with people who hate exercising. If you want to lose weight or gain weight, avoid people who are not weight conscious. Di ba? Ganun siya. Okay, another thing that I have to remind everyone, including myself, is that we have to create our own rules. And this is what I learned when I was still in law school. This is what I learned, that our society is governed by rules because we are a civilized society. In the absence of rules, what do we call ourselves? So, ibig sabihin, nabubuhay talaga tayo. We live, means that we live in a society where there are so many rules and we are not excluded from those rules. And so that also means that every person can actually create his or her own rules in his or her own life. So that's the good news, right? So if you wanna achieve things, if you wanna go greater heights, if you wanna cross horizons or whatever you want to achieve in life, set your own rules and then stick to it. And don't overwhelm yourself. Yun pala yung isa yun sa pitfall, no? That's the pitfall of having so many rules. I don't have so many rules in my life. Okay. To be quite honest about it, I don't have so many rules in my life. I just have one or two on a daily basis and then I stick to it. Because I don't want to overwhelm myself. Sabi nga nila, ang dami-dami ngang batas yung simpleng hindi nga pagtapon ng basura, hindi pagtapon ng basura sa basurahan. Tama ba yun? Sabi ko. Yung hindi mo pagtapon ng basura sa tamang basurahan, hindi mo magawa, ang dami mo pang gustong ilagay na rules. So just stick to the rules that you think you can stick to. Sorry, create the rules that you think you can stick to. For example, every single day, I will wake up at 6 in the morning to do my exercise. That's it, every single day. Just stick to that. And then eventually, when you've already done that, you can create another rule that you can stick to. So ako personally, I don't really have too many rules. I just know that I have built my own routine. I also have my habits to stick to. And if I feel that these habits do not necessarily help me in my daily goals, then I remove them and create another one. The beauty about being a human, is actually we are very dynamic. We can change whatever we want to change. No, we're not rocks, we're not trees. We can move from one place to another. We can change our habits, we can change our routines. And that's why we really should not have any excuses that we cannot do this and that, because we can, right? We have a choice. So again, set your own rules and stick to it. Doesn't matter kung meron kang isa, meron kang 100, just stick to it. If you can only stick to one rule, that's okay. For as long as you can stick to it. Kahit na isa lang yun, basta nag-stick ka. Kaysa naman meron kang 100, drawing naman, di ba? Doon na tayo sa isa, pero kaya mo siyang gawin every single day. Alright, so set your own rules and stick to it. Okay, so this will be my last slide for tonight. Sharing with you a quote from Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is one of my most favorite authors of all time. I've read so many books of that he wrote. So if you wanna read books, you can definitely check out Brian Tracy. Sabi niya, according to Brian Tracy, the ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. Basically, the reason for that is um, delaying gratification is a part of self discipline. So if you have self discipline, if you know how to hold back what you should be holding back, then you have a higher rate of winning at life. You have a higher rate for being to be successful in life. So, yun, delay gratification. And I'm also reminding this to myself. I'm not saying that this topic is only for you. Actually, I did this topic because I can totally relate to this. Kasi 'di ba, ang hilig kong i-reward yung sarili ko. Because I always thought, when I was younger, no, not younger, but younger, like early 20s, when I started earning my own money, I felt like, oh, I need to reward myself because I've been working my bum off and then I don't get anything, 'di ba? Ganon yung mga thinking. Pero eventually, um, you will realize that you don't really have to reward yourself all the time. You can reward yourself every now and then. You can reward in a small way or in a big way. But if you feel that the reward is more than your achievement, kumbaga, maliit lang yung achievement mo pero niragiluhan mo yung sarili mo ng Rolex, parang gano'n. Parang, parang sobra naman yun, 'di ba? O depende pa rin yan sa'yo. Again, it really depends if gratification helps you out, it makes you a better person, if you can achieve greater heights because you have been gratifying yourself, that's great. But if you feel that instant gratification does not help you out, well, it's up to you to assess what can you do about it, because again, everybody has a choice. You definitely have a choice what to do with your life, and one of those things is to choose how you reward yourself. Walang masama mag-reward sa sarili natin kasi deserve naman natin 'yon. Kasi nga paano kung, YOLO, you only live once and life is short, mga gano'n. Pero isipin din natin, what if mabuhay ka for the next 100 years? What if you still have 80 years to live, 'di ba? Tapos 20 years old ka pa lang, inabuso mo na yung sarili mo kasi nga um nag-ano ka na, nag-party ka na all you can every single day for 1 month, for 5 months, for 1 year, ganyan, paano yun, di ba? We cannot do that as well. So, everything in moderation. Yun na lang masasabi ko. To end this conversation, everything in moderation. So we should make sure that we are rewarding ourselves in a good way, and also we do not abuse our gratification powers over ourselves. Okay, because everybody has a choice. So the choice is really up to you. Okay? So itong mga podcast episodes naman natin ay hindi naman para i-judge tayo. No, it's a guide for us to reassess our choices in life, or maybe to help us in whatever that we're thinking of or thinking about. And hopefully this episode help you out. Hope you gain several insights, one or two maybe. And just in case this helped you out, maybe you can also share this. Baka may iba pang tao na kailangan tong marinig, lalo na yung mga younger ones, mga kagaya ko. Just kidding. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned a thing or two, and we will. Marami kami. And I will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. And also, I'd like to thank those who have been sending me prayers and virtual hugs. Thank you so much for the private messages. Sobrang na-appreciate ko po kayong lahat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. um, life must go on, right? It doesn't mean that we have lost people, parang hinto yung mundo, kasi we still have a life to live. So, yun din yung masasabi ko sa mga taong kagaya ko na may pinagdaanan last week, and yung may pinagdadaanan pa rin ngayon. Sabi nga po ni Daddy Litz, puwede kang dumaan, huwag kang lang tatambay. It's really up to you to decide. So, you can cry every once in a while, but you have a life to live as well. So, to those of you who have watched the episode, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another episode of Thinking Tuesdays. We will be posting our infographic. We will be posting our poster tomorrow morning, so that you will know what the topic is all about. And I'll see you again. Stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. And also, if you possibly can, delay gratification, because rewards are sweeter when you delay your gratification. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. See you and have a good night. Bye.